Instead, he felt pressured by Jay and others to live up to the persona he had cultivated in his music. Yes, it was true that Prodigy's mother ran a ballet studio and that he used to take classes there. What was so embarrassing about that? He had a mother who raised him in the arts. He was cultured.
And Jay-Z was part of that community, the Dr. York community, you know what I mean? And he had learned all that information that York was putting out, for lack of a better term. He's chosen a side, you know what I mean? And the side that he chose is money, power, and, you know, he doesn't really care to spread any type of information that might help save somebody's soul. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Prodigy. Now they have listed his official cause of death, and that cause of death is accidental choking. Apparently, he really did choke on an egg while he was in a hospital in Vegas.
And now, like I talked to Noriega this morning, he was like, okay, I realized this.
The death of iconic Mobb Deep rapper Prodigy is one of hip-hop's most perplexing tragedies, and 50 Cent has finally spoken out about it. Despite the official claim that Prodigy choked on an egg, 50 is now questioning and calling that explanation suspect. There are rumors circulating that 50 might even be producing a documentary that totally alters our perception of what transpired. Known for more than just his music, Prodigy was notable for his candor. He accused Jay-Z of selling his soul and joining the Illuminati in an open letter he published before he passed away. At the same time, he was working on a musical that would reveal the extensive influence of elite powers in the hip-hop business. Regretfully, he passed away before that vision became clear. Although Jay-Z frequently appeared to ignore Prodigy and make fun of his more creative and intellectual side, 50 Cent continuously stood by him. He urged Prodigy to express deeper realities through his music and go beyond gangster rap. What has 50 said in the wake of Prodigy's untimely death? Is he truly going to reveal material that prominent industry figures, perhaps including Jay-Z, would prefer to keep secret? And why is he now casting doubt on the official version? Let's take a closer look.
It was on, and he was getting dissed. Him and Nas. Mobb Deep and Biggie were the only ones from New York active in that situation. So Jay-Z is for making that quote in his lyrics.
According to recent speculations, 50 Cent is thinking of revealing the full, untold story of Prodigy's death. According to some, it goes much beyond what the public has been told. According to those with knowledge of the situation, 50 has been secretly engaged in a project that more information about the Prodigy's demise doesn't appear to be a publicity stunt, however. 50 and Prodigy genuinely respect each other. The G-Unit family and Mob became closer after 50 brought them together in 2005. Upon their arrival at the label, 50 presented both members with a Porsche as a thank you for their expertise.
Knocked out so much music before even inking the deal. He wanted people to see us with the cars and know we were signing a G-Unit. I didn't know what to say. 50 was giving us 2 Porsches. I just said thanks. As soon as I got up off the phone with him, I raced back to the studio to tell Havoc what 50 told me not to tell him. Just like 50, I couldn't hold it in. Hav was hype. The one-of-a-kind special order Porsches will be delivered in a week. Do you know how to drive stick shift? 50 asked. No, I said.
Prodigy often gave 50 high marks. He said that, in his view, 50 could do no wrong in an interview with Vlad TV in 2012.
50, that's my boy right there, man. He can't do no wrong in my eyes. OG on 50, you know, Banks, Yayo, all of them. Those are our brothers, you know what I mean? For Queens, like, we all grew up in the same neighborhoods. We got friends in common. It's crazy how, you know, we never really grew up together, but the people that he know is the same people that I know and I grew up with. So it was just like meant to be for us to do that deal with them when it happened.
Prodigy was reportedly one of the few individuals allowed to visit 50 Cent in the hospital following his 9 shootings outside his grandmother's Queens house in May 2000. According to reports, when Prodigy was detained in 2006, authorities tried to persuade him to celebrate his 50th birthday, but he stayed faithful all the way through.
Those questions, they say, yo, look, really, we just want to know about 50 Cent. You know you down with G, nigga. We want something over 50. If you can help us get something with 50, we'll let you walk right now. I'm like, what? So, my mind, I snap into strategic thinking. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm thinking strategic. Now I want to hear more I want to hear how far these people are willing to take this. So now I start acting like I'm willing to help them, right? I start saying things like, I put my head down like this, can I get a cigarette? You know what I'm saying? I start doing things like that, and they start thinking like, oh yeah, he's thinking about it, you know what I mean? So now I'm getting them to talk. Now they talking. Now they like, yo, listen, maybe, does 50 use drugs? Does he buy drugs? Does he do anything illegal? Does he sell guns? So now I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So now they like, well, would you be willing maybe does he let you in his car? Does he let you in his house? Would you be willing maybe to drop some drugs in his car? Or maybe drop a gun in his car and then give us a call? I'm like, wow. I'm like, yo, these people was ill, right? So I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting there acting like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. Can I get another cigarette? You know what I'm saying? So I'm playing it like that, right? I'm being strategic, like, because I'm smart nigga, you know what I'm saying? So they just yapping away, and I'm seeing they really want to set this dude up. They had no reason. They can't, they want to do it because 50 don't do nothing. He's strictly business, flag, you know what I'm saying? And they mad at that. They want to bring this man down because he's successful, has money, and they never can get no case on him. So at the end of the little 30, 40-minute interrogation, I basically told them, listen, man, they're going to charge me, you're going to hit me with time, I'll serve my time. I'm not snitching on nobody, I'm going to set people up, you know what I mean? I do my time like a man, I'm not a rat, you know what I'm saying? Once they see that, they're going to take his ass back to the set, you know what I mean? Every hour, they would send a new group of detectives to question me, like they was probably in the back room, like, well, let me try, I can give you a crack. No, let me try, all right, you try once, let me try now. You know what I mean? So they all trying to take their little turns to see which one of them can get me to work with them. The last one was the ATF. You know what I mean? The ATF came, pulled me out my cell, brought me upstairs in the precinct to a conference room this time at a round table. All of them had their ATF jackets on with the yellow, writing on the iron on ATF. The back, they had their badges around their neck. And I'm talking about senior officers, senior, whatever you call them, agents, with gray hair. You could tell they were high up, you know what I mean? And you could tell somebody called these dudes and they came from their houses to come down to do this. So, they tried, you know what I mean? They was asking me to do the same thing, put something in the car, maybe get him, we could set up a buying bus where you buy some drugs off of you, maybe. I'm just like, wow, these dudes are going hard for this. Like, they really don't like this nigga, right? So ultimately, I ain't do nothing. Of course, I ain't work with them or whatever. I'm like, yeah, fuck.
50 Cent and Prodigy were genuinely pals. In 2017, 50 delivered a heartfelt statement at Prodigy's funeral. He then said on social media, "Even though I've never spoken at a wake or funeral before, I felt compelled to express something. Peace be with you, Prodigy. May you be blessed by God." In his memoir, 50 also commended Prodigy's mother's influence in encouraging him to pursue the arts, as well as his education and intelligence. But the tone soured when 50 said that Jay-Z had lured Prodigy to make aggressive, street-oriented songs while making fun of his artistic upbringing.
It's what made him special and would have allowed him to create more significant art. I felt like Prodigy's arts background made him more prepared as a performer than the rest of us. He was a force in the studio, always coming up with new hooks and concepts. I even remember going to his house one day and noticing several movie scripts laying around. "Man, when did you learn how to write scripts?" I asked him. "Oh, I read some book that showed me how to do it," he answered casually. "I've been writing them ever since." That's the kind of ability he possessed. He could pick up a book, digest it, and then start churning out scripts like it was nothing. Most rappers struggle to write 12 bars, let alone a movie. They just didn't have the same artistic traditions to draw from. Instead, he felt pressured by Jay and others to live up to the persona he had cultivated in his music. Yes, it was true that Prodigy's mother ran a ballet studio, and that he used to take classical. What was so embarrassing about that?
Jay-Z's open letter was publicly criticized by Prodigy and the Illuminati. Charges make it simpler to see why Jay would have allegedly tried to discredit him. Actually, their dispute started in 1998. Jay released the song Money Cash 8 Shows that year, referencing one of Snoop Dogg's New York, New York moments with the line, "It's like New York's been soft ever since Snoop came through and crushed the buildings." The York video shows Snoop stomping on New York buildings while he was at battle with Mobb Deep, despite being from Long Beach. Many others saw Jay-Z's references to that episode in his songs as him endorsing Snoop and covertly criticizing New York, particularly Mobb Deep, because Snoop and Jay-Z have always been friends. This infuriated Prodigy and many other East Coasters. Jay's phrase may have been written off by others as simply another line, but for Prodigy, it heightened the already fierce East vs. West conflict, touched a nerve. For him, it was about loyalty, pride in one's region, and standing up for what was right, not simply about the music. He believed that Jay had not shown up for New York at the crucial moment. When Jay stayed out of the fray while Mobb Deep and Biggie were taking real chances to defend their neighborhood against Suge Knight and Death Row Records, Prodigy believed that Jay was choosing neutrality over taking a stand.
And the source came out. I picked up a copy in the Chicago airport when we landed. The source put me on the cover, my first magazine cover as a solo artist. In the interview, the writer, Shaheem Reed, asked about my problem with Jay-Z, referencing an online interview in which they asked if I like Jay-Z. "No, he's a boy. He talking and don't live it," I said. I elaborated for the source. Jay-Z has a quote in his song, Money Cash Hoes, where he claims, "New York been soft ever since Snoop came through and crushed the buildings. I'm trying to restore the feelings." But Jay was nowhere to be found when that drama popped off between Mobb Deep, Dogg Pound, Tupac, and Biggie. That was our little personal beef, not a coastal war. Jay-Z ain't had to say when it was on, and he was getting dissed. Him and Nas. Mobb Deep and Biggie were the only ones from New York active in that situation. So Jay-Z is a for making that quote in his lyrics. Yeah.
Jay-Z and Prodigy's argument was initially kept quiet, but that all changed when Jay released the song Takeover, in which he publicly and harshly attacked Prodigy. Things grew more heated at Summer Jam 2001 when Jay-Z attempted to publicly humiliate Prodigy by showing one of his earliest photos shows him at a lesson dressed in dance attire. Jay also performed Takeover in an unreleased a cappella version. To top it all off, he brought Michael Jackson to the stage so he could share the spotlight.
Live, we the champions, you heard
Michael Jackson!
We live.
King of rap, the king of pop, holla!
Turned out crazy, big event, 20,000.
It's the Rock, you bastards!
As always, you heard? Holla!
Greetings. We don't do much. Summer Jam 2001, man, how was it for you, man? We don't do much. We right here, big celebration as always, man. We don't do much. That's it. It's a wrap. We out here, Jigga Man, Brooklyn. Oh yeah, Zab. Okay, right here, all day.
After that, Jay connected everything to his song rapping.
"You little fuck, I got money stacks bigger than you. When I was losing weight back in '88, you was a ballerina. I got the picture, I seen you. Switching the meter. Well, we don't believe you. You need more people. Rockefeller, students of the game, he passed the classes. Nobody can read you dudes like we do. Don't let them gas you like Jigga ass and won't get at you. Trust me on this one, I'll attack you. Mind from spirit, body and soul. You have to hold a man, put your body in the hole. No, you're not on my level. Get your break sweet. I sold what your whole album sold in my first week. Don't stop. You guys don't want it with Ho. Ask Nas, he don't want it with Ho.
Prodigy was not going to let Jay-Z treat him disrespectfully without a return. He was committed to staying in his role. He was reportedly prepared for anything, even packing protection. In order to avoid encountering Prodigy, Jay-Z reportedly ceased going to major industry events like the MTV Awards, Source Awards, and even bed appearances following the Summer Jam incident. A 2011 interview with hip-hop Prodigy revealed that he was ready for a fight. He explained that as soon as Diddy made fun of Jay with those photos from the dancing class at Summer Jam, he would go to Justin, his old restaurant. to confront him.
And Justin's hanging out, because like me and about maybe 10, 15 of my boys from the project, we chilling. We just having a good time chilling in Justin's. And I see Queen Pen, rapping Queen Pen is in there, so we dancing, we having a good time.
Jermaine Dupri and Jay-Z ultimately departed the restaurant. However, Jermaine quickly left the scene when he noticed Prodigy and his group outside. Jay, though, didn't panic. He approached Prodigy and his two bodyguards to shake hands in an attempt to ease the tension. After considering the gesture, Prodigy chose to keep the focus on the music rather than escalate, even though he admitted that he was mentally evaluating the situation and knew how easily it might have gone in a different manner.
I hear the DJ say, yo, shout out to Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri in the house. You know what I mean? So like, we've been in here for like 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? Justin's is real small. So it's like, where they at? I ain't see them. So now we all looking at me and my boys all looking at each other like, you heard that? So now we looking for him in the club. We like, where he at? We can't find him. Like, all right, cool. What we did was we lined up. We surrounded the front. There's only one way in and one way out of Justin's. We surrounded the front door. So he couldn't get out without seeing us. So I'm standing there waiting to see him. And finally he comes from like back somewhere. I don't believe he's at. And him and Jermaine Dupri are walking. Jermaine see us. You know, he was out, he just got there. So then Jay's standing there with two bodyguards approaching us. So from a distance, you know what I mean, probably from where that camera is at right there, he puts his hand out like this and comes walking up to me like this to shake my hand, right? So I'm looking at him like, this dude, like, I could just really just feel like a rag doll right here, like for real. So whatever, I shook his hand. What's up, man? He's like, yo, listen, man, you know, it's just music, let's just keep it just music. You know, there's no problem, man. I just wish you would've came and told me that, you know, how you felt to my face instead of doing the magazine. I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. And anything, we can keep it just music. That's what's up. You know what I mean? And I thought about it real quick, because I'm thinking about, like, I could just really overpower him right now. You know what I mean? With the security and all that. You know what I mean?
Because somebody was talking about shooting him.
Yeah, I mean, to tell the truth, my man had a gun on him in the club. You know?
But Prodigy and Jay-Z's feud didn't end there. Prodigy's public discussion of the Illuminati and his claim that Jay was aware of powerful, secret powers manipulating the music industry escalated issues. While arrested for illegal firearm possession in 2007, Prodigy wrote an open letter to Jay-Z in which he implied that Jay might be a part of a covert group and made bold assertions. Prodigy wrote about his 1996 epiphany, which made him realize that there was a more profound system at play in both music and society at large. He argued that the majority of things that people take for granted in the financial industry, government, politics, and religion are untrue. According to Prodigy, the government, religions, politics, and the federal are a joke. Then he turned to Jay-Z, claiming that even though Jay knew the facts, he said nothing. He aligned with the opposition, Jay says, to gain favor in the business world. He said, Jay-Z is aware of the truth, but he sided with evil to gain acceptance. In the corporate world, Black people are not told the truth by Jay-Z, community as well as the world, and instead promotes the beast's lifestyle. According to Prodigy, he would continue to expose Jay-Z, the Illuminati, and what he believed to be global corruption until the day he lost the ability to speak. I have no fear of anything or anyone, he said, because the truth has liberated me from the Illuminati's mental hold, and because God and the cosmos have given me strength, I am fearless. Even though Prodigy had been mentioning the Illuminati, many believe he was the first to introduce the subject into hip-hop culture. He rapped the Illuminati's desire for my body, mind, and soul, for example, on the 1995 remix of I Shot Y'all with LL Cool J. Despite the secret society's efforts to keep an eye on me, I intend to strategically remain in the cog, Prodigy declared. This is not a theory. In a song titled simply Illuminati, which he released later in 2008. A conspiracy has been formed. They want to put me in a straitjacket and confine me in a padded room while declaring that there are 12 monkeys to confuse people. But then he went on to talk about the Illuminati. Prodigy continued playing with these ideas in his most recent album, Hegemonic Dialectic, on January 20th. Exactly 5 months before he passed away, the Book of Revelation was published. He was also reportedly working on a full-length musical based on his thoughts about the Illuminati at the time of his death. Prior to his death on June 20th, 2011, Prodigy never had the chance to complete the project, which had the potential to be significant. Since Prodigy had battled sickle cell disease for a significant amount of his life, most people thought that the illness's complications were the reason for his death. However, the coroner's report eventually made it clear that sickle cell was not the cause of death. Instead, claimed that when Prodigy was in the hospital, he had accidentally choked on a boiled egg. When his family filed a lawsuit against Spring Valley Medical Center in Las Vegas, the strange detail proved even more problematic. The hospital neglected to maintain a functional line and failed to monitor his oxygen levels, the lawsuit claims. Even though doctors had given them explicit instructions, many of Prodigy's fans never felt comfortable with the official explanation. They still thought that he was silenced because he was too near to revealing information that would have caused discomfort. Moreover, it wasn't just admirers. Additionally, in a conversation with Candace Owens, Kanye West brought up Prodigy's death. It goes even farther, though, since YouTube quickly removed that interview and banned Candace from the platform for a week. Kanye's performance comments were later revisited by Candace, who also brought up an earlier interview in which Prodigy talked about some ostensibly unsettling elite habits. If you examine Prodigy's previous tweets, you will notice that he regularly included resources and links for people to review. He warned the UK about alleged voodoo practices and pedophile allegations. For instance, in a 2014 tweet, Travel Prodigy wrote in the photo's description, "I told you all that rulers do exorcisms on children. Stupid people need to wake up." He also made frequent comments on the Illuminati online, such as, "I think this is for school knowledge, just like learning your ABCs." The public is starting to take notice now that all these conversations concerning Prodigy's intentions to reveal the dark underbelly of the music industry and its secret forces are resurfacing. Rumor has it that 50 Cent is preparing a documentary about the life and legacy of Prodigy, his prior statements and beliefs. Therefore, we hope to hear from you today. Do you believe Prodigy was giving away more information? And do you believe his death was related to his accusations against the Illuminati or his comments against Jay-Z? There are even others who question if the official cause of death, choking on an egg, has any symbolic meaning. Please provide your thoughts in the space provided for comments.